Thank you, everybody, so much again for coming to Friday's Heroes and Employee of the Week. I say it every week. It's my favorite time of the week on Fridays to honor our heroes with the Albuquerque Police and Fire Departments and our civilian employees who really go out every day, take those tax dollars, put them to great work in our community. And this week is no exception. We've got some great stories to tell. I'm also happy today because we have family that came along, and it's always a treat for me when the officers and firefighters and employees bring their children and their husbands and wives, and we have a lot of that in the room today. So welcome everybody to be here while we honor your loved ones. Today we're honoring several Albuquerque police officers who saved the lives of 3 teens who were visiting Albuquerque from out of town. Today's Friday's heroes who are with us are officers Jeremy Bassett, Pat Hernandez, Anthony Martinez, Chad Melvin, Jason Harvey, Gary Okino, and Andy Montoya, and they're all with our open space division of the Albuquerque Police Department. Everybody loves the open space in Albuquerque, and a lot of people don't realize that we have a law enforcement component of that as well, and all of these individuals worked there. So here's the story that we're telling today. Last month on March 1st, in the overnight hours with freezing temperatures, 3 teens who were visiting Albuquerque from Missouri found themselves lost in the Sandia Mountains. The teens were wearing shorts, their cell phones were dead, and obviously they were very cold as overnight temperatures that evening dipped down to 27 degrees. These police officers navigated the rocky terrain of the snowy Sandia Mountains to rescue these teens. They set up a tactical plan, as they do on a normal basis. They began the efforts of locating the teens along the elevated 8-mile trail, and if you're not familiar with that trail, it's got a 12% grade. It's a tough trail. These officers were able to reach the distressed trio near the ledge of a cliff, and immediately the teens were transported by the open space officers to rescue units who were also there on standby. And all of the teens at the time were struggling with hypothermia, so they received treatment for that. And then in the early hours of the morning, they were reunited with their family and friends, and you can only imagine how that went. I'm sure everybody was very grateful. Maybe if you know how my mom would have reacted after that if I was a teenager that got lost, but I'm sure they were very, very grateful. But many thanks to these officers who found the frightened teens. They were able to reunite them with their loved ones. And if you've ever been lost, and we hear this story a lot. In fact, we lost someone in the Sandias last week, didn't we? We lost an experienced hiker on La Luz Trail last week. And this is a story, I've lived here since 1982, and this is a story I've heard over and over again. I've spent some time myself. The Sandias are beautiful, and we have easy access in the city of Albuquerque. Many people come visit. Many people that live here want to see these beautiful features that we have in the beautiful mountains. But it's a story that's been told over and over again. And if you've ever been lost, it's a scary feeling. And when you don't have the necessities with you, and we talked, I know we've got at least one other. Where's our other Eagle Scout? We have an Eagle Scout with us. Boy Scouts talk about be prepared, and almost all of these cases end up being an instance where someone's just not prepared. So absolutely fantastic job, gentlemen. Thank you so much. You took a situation that really could have ended badly for some young folks, and you did a great job with it. I want to have Chief Schultz say a few words about the incident as well, and about this team and what they do on a day-to-day basis. And then we've got some heroes coins that we'd like to give these gentlemen. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. And we are very fortunate to have a great open space division within the Albuquerque Police Department. Not only are they responsible for patrolling our open space, whether it's the West Mesa or the Bosque or the mountains, but they also have additional duties and responsibilities that they volunteered for. Back in 2007, we expanded their duties to include search and rescue, and they are now recognized as one of the best search and rescue teams in the state, and regularly work with state search and rescue personnel as well as Albuquerque mountain folks. What's really unique about this particular team is very often when these calls come in, the person will not know exactly where they're at. These men know all of our open space, and just with limited information, maybe a description of a certain set of rocks or a trail or an arroyo, they can usually figure out exactly where that person or those people are. So it's that type of dedication, that type of knowledge that really makes them a special unit within the department. We're very proud of the work that they do, and where this particular incident is being recognized, unfortunately they are called out all too often, almost on a weekly basis, to go and help somebody somewhere during our open space. So we're very fortunate to have them working for us, and we appreciate everything that you all do for us each and every day. So thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. About 3 years ago, a couple weeks after we got started here, we came up and we commissioned these coins, and these are Friday's Heroes coins. And they talk about, they've got the logos of the Albuquerque Police Department, the Albuquerque Fire Department on them as well. And they just talk about, you know, being heroes in our community. And in our Albuquerque Police Department, the officers in the Albuquerque Fire Department, they go out every day. And we never have an issue trying to, you know, finding great stories to tell in our community. So gentlemen, I'd like each of you to have one of these coins with our gratitude and our respect. And we thank you so much for everything you do in our community. And I know there's a happy family out there somewhere today, just probably based on something you've done before you showed up here this morning. So thank you so much, and we appreciate you very much. Well, let's turn our attention to employees of the week this week. Today's employees of the week are Bill Pentler and Steve Ryan with the Parks and Recreation Department. And you can tell from their uniforms, we'll talk about what they do. They also have open space gear on today as well. Each winter, we have an open space division of our Parks and Recreation Department that conducts several planting projects to regenerate the Bosque by planting cottonwoods and willows along the Bosque area. I don't know if you remember, it's been several months ago, I guess, there was a story about how the canopy, the tree canopy in many cities across the country is shrinking, and Albuquerque's no different. And I think we've lost, is it maybe 2% of our tree canopy as they take aerial photographs over the decades. So the work that these folks do is vitally important. So Bill and Steve were nominated as the Employees of the Week after their supervisor, who's Matt Schmader, who many of you have met before, recognized the long hours and the hard work that they were investing in our Bosque. And under tough outdoor conditions, this duo has worked with 18 school groups and community organizations involving 400 school children and 100 adults to plant more than 400 trees and another 100 shrubs so far in the Bosque. To improve the habitat of the Bosque, Bill and Steve have worked in conjunction with the state inmate program as well to coordinate the gathering of more than 5,000 willow whips, which have been planted in the restoration site known as La Orilla, the riverbank in Spanish. The La Orilla project site has been completely transformed due to the high quality, hard work, and active engagement of community participation, all fostered by these two guys right here. This spring and summer, the new plantings will begin to leaf out, showcasing their successes, obviously, and their environmental stewardship. And we want to thank both of these individuals because I can tell you it's not an easy job. Through my experience as a contractor, we've done some work up around on the Rio Grande, around Pilar, and the Rio Verde, in some of those areas. We've done some reclamation work I have personally, and it's hard work. It is. It can be backbreaking work. So we know what that means. And the other thing that I think is so important is this Bosque that we have. It's such a gem. We have one of the largest urban parks in America running right through the city of Albuquerque. And the Bosque, the Cottonwood Bosque, is one of the last of its kind. And the fact that we have people that are taking environmental stewardship seriously, and not only taking it seriously, but also passing that on to the next generation, all the students that you're working with, I think it's just absolutely exceptional. And I'd like to have Barbara Baca come up and say a few things about these guys and their work as well. Come on up, Barbara.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just so pleased to be here, part of the Berry administration that supports our open space program. You know, Albuquerque has 29,000 acres of open space. The backdrop of the Sandias, the heart of the city with the river, and of course the volcanoes and the escarpment on the west side. But these two guys have done just exceptional work, replanting, and actually I was talking to them before this gathering, and since we nominated them for Employee of the Week, it's more like 1,000 cottonwood trees and more like 14,000 willow whips that are pole planted in the Bosque, recreating the southwest willow flycatcher habitat. So we're working with the Water Utility Authority and doing some really good work with community groups, building the next generation of environmental stewards. So these two guys, just bravo, and we really appreciate the work that they're doing to beautify Albuquerque, to keep our open space gorgeous. And I just have one other thing. On a side note, you might have seen Leslie Lithicum's article in the Journal yesterday.
Talking about dog poop,
A
right?
dog poop, yeah. Deputy dog over here, Bill Pentler. This is another very important thing we do. It's education. It's teaching our public how to protect your own and pick up after your dog, and helping the community understand what open space is about. Our next generation right there. Okay, so thank you very much, and I really appreciate it, Mayor.
Thanks so much. And as we talk about ABQ the plan, and we've been talking about it for several years now, and I had a meeting on it again this morning. And one of the fundamental components of ABQ the plan is to bring the river more into our day-to-day lives. And people around the community are so excited about that. And there's some misconceptions out there about turning it into the river walk like San Antonio. It has nothing to do with that. It's a river. It runs through our city. It's the lifeblood. It has been the lifeblood of our city for centuries. And so much of ABQ the plan, as it deals with the river, is from the environmental stewardship side. It's about allowing people better access to the Bosque, to the river, in a safe and effective way, so that they can also fall in love with this Bosque. Because the more we can get our community to fall in love with the river, the Bosque, and the more we're going to have stewardship, I think, brought forward. So the things that we're talking about are restoration projects, soft trail systems, places to gather where we cross the river already, where we've already disturbed the Bosque, and then leaving these areas of wilderness in between, so that we can connect areas of civilization through areas of wilderness. And like I say, we were just talking about it again this morning, about a segment and what we could do with trail systems. And of course, we're coming up on a fire danger again this year. We're already having conversations with Chief Breen and the fire folks about what's the best thing we can do to protect it. And one of the things that Chief Breen has told me from the very beginning of the administration is sometimes we close off the Bosque, but if we can allow people to do the right kinds of activities, bicycle riding, hiking, then we have more eyes and ears in the Bosque that we can catch things earlier. So we're going to continue to do that as well. I think she's agreeing with everything I'm saying. That is perfect. That is perfect. Anyway, thanks so much. You guys do a wonderful job. And what we do for our Employees of the Week is we have an Employee of the Week mug, and we'll get the certificates straightened out here in a minute. And we also have a certificate that we give out for Employee of the Week, and then we also have a letter for your personnel file as well. So we want to give each of these gentlemen that, and thank you for all you're doing. I mean, it's a generational thing that you're doing, and if we're all blessed with many years, we'd like to look back and say that we left this place much better than we found it. And I think you guys are walking proof. You're walking the walk. So thank you so much. We appreciate your efforts.